Assalamu alaikum. Today's video is going to be about FreeFileSync. FreeFileSync is a open source free application for making backups and copying your files to backup drives. And I just learned that FreeFileSync will back up also to Google Drive. So this is what the video is going to be about. FreeFileSync can be downloaded from this site, and once you get to freefilesync.org, you'll be presented to this page. There is a button called here labeled download. Click on that, and then you can see that they have targets for Windows, Apple, and Linux. I typically, of course, use Windows. Since I already have it installed, there's no point for me I'm going to skip that, and I assume that you know how to download files, set up, and run it on your PC. So next, I'm going to go switch to my favorite file explorer called XY Explorer. And in this one, I'm working on the left or the second tab, collection. I'm going to click on load a profile for a project where I have audio. I'm going to go ahead open, and I have a bunch of profile with this file explorer that basically saves the areas where I'm working. The first project or sub-project is relating to sources I have collected from the web. These ones happen to be relating to Quran audio, so I'm going to select this profile and hit OK. That opens the tabs that I had saved around this project. I'm going to scroll here and show you this project, sub-project under researched folder, things that I do on the web. This particular sub-project is about Quran audio specifically. I'm going to go ahead and actually boldface that. So Control B with XY Explorer boldfaces that. So I'm working in this sub-project here, and I happen to have a profile that I had saved here. In fact, a good habit profile. This is a different profile relating to XY, to FreeFileSync. This is their icon, and I called it Deploy Quran Audio English to the Google Drive. So I suggest you use something that's clear, that deploy or backup or mirror, whichever you happen to would like to use. And so I have a source and a target, kind of like just tags. A good habit is to actually create a folder at this level, and I typically call it underscore capitalized, all caps, tools, and I would put this particular profile, I think of it as a tool. This it's not refreshing, so I hit F5, and anyway, so it's a good habit to create tools or something like that consistently throughout your project, where you can find the tools that you used around the project in 2 months, in a year, as opposed to having all the profiles relating to FreeFileSync in one location, like My Documents or something like that, where they're going to be, you're going to confuse them with other projects, related projects. Anyway, so go ahead and double click on this profile with extension FFS GUI, and it opens up FreeFileSync.
File comparison completed.
And it already went ahead and compared the current specified source path to the target one, which happened to be Google Drive folder. And it's showing me the files on the left that needs to be copied to the right to the cloud. And it's showing like about 6,335 files. You can deselect that, and you can show the one that are already copied over. Sometimes you want to do that. So this is showing me about 18 files that are already synced, already existing on the Google Drive. So that was a subset there. How did I create this profile? We could start by go ahead and doing a new. Here on the upper left, there's an icon called new. You click on it, and the next thing, when you create a new profile in the FreeFileSync, could start with the target. There's this cloud icon here. Click on it, and I have already created a connection for Google Drive. As you can see, it also supports SFTP and FTP, which is typically what I use. for syncing my data, my files to my web server. Today is about Google Drive, so we're going to just stick to that. So once you create a connection to your account for Google Drive, it will show you, I guess here, My Drive. The next thing, you want to select a specific folder on the remote. On the Google Drive, you click Browse, and it will present to you all the remote folders under your drive. I select this one, and particularly that subfolder, Ibrahim Waq Sahih International. So I select that folder as a target. It's displaying it here. I hit OK. It fills for you the path or the notation that it uses for the Google Drive. On the local, I could also browse. It looks like you can go from cloud to cloud, but I'm going from the local. I could browse. The other way is I'll tab or switch back to my File Explorer, and I would select this subfolder. I hit copy on that, or with the mouse copy, and switch back. I'll tab to File Explorer. I go ahead and paste the path for the source. Relating to what you want to copy, you can click under configuration, and you can specify how the source and the target are compared. Right now its file time and the size are compared across, whether there's a match or difference. The next thing you can do is under the filter tab, you can select what type of files you'd like to copy from the source to the target. So right now star means every file. There is some also the ability to exclude, so this is by default added there, and you can add more exclusion patterns, these things that you don't want to copy. So you have some flexibility there. Then the third tab is about how you want to do this synchronization. I'm just gonna talk about update, which is the most frequent that I use, which is copying all the files that are local to the remote. Because I typically work only on the local, I'm not editing the remote. But if you are working on both sides, then you might want to consider mirror or two-way synchronization. There's also a custom which I have never used. What else in this? I think I'll just stick to that. For now, I hit OK. The next thing you want to do is compare. So I'm comparing the local folder to the remote folder. Hit compare.
File comparison
and again,
completed.
We get that. Of course, if you are to select a different filter, say for example, I said copy only star dog, star, anything ending with a DOC or anything after that, then I hit OK, and I compare.
File comparison
there is nothing
completed.
to copy because of the pattern that you have. So pay attention to the pattern that you might configure, and you should be getting the results that you expect. And after that, after you create a profile like that, you go ahead and do a file save and save it again to the location within the project that you happen to be working with. What else? I think that's about it for this particular profile. I'm going to show you another profile I use for syncing my help from my application. So I'm going to switch to the other tab and open here a profile relating to my File Explorer, relating to we're talking about help. So where's my help? Right there, 2022. It's a help profile. We're going to go ahead and open that. That push me into my UPS help, which is my multi help. And where am I working? I'm working here, UPS help. I'm going to go ahead and boldface that for the purpose of this demo. As you can see, at the root, I happen to have a tools, and I also have a deploy. In this case, I put my FreeFileSync deployment on the deploy folder. Anyway, I go ahead and open that, and again, this one is syncing.
File comparison completed.
It's syncing my local folder to an SFTP, secure FTP, I think that's what it stands for, onto my web server, which happened to be a virtual private server. Nothing to sync right now, but if I'm working and say I open a file in my source, in this case, so I'm working and say I open a file working with the an HTML, for example, so like this one, let's open it into my UPS help and say I was to touch a file like this one here, and I'm just going to make a minor change. So if I put a space there and save this file, if I was to go back to FreeFileSync and now do the comparison, it will detect this file that
File
has changed.
comparison completed.
And as you can see, it highlights this file has been changed. Do you want to sync it? I can go ahead and click on synchronize, and it puts it back on my
Backup file sync has completed.
Okay, so that's typically my workflow. Editing local files, syncing them to my server, or making a backup. You probably noticed that I have these sounds at the end of compare operation or a synchronize operation. It's something that I added. It's basically under options, FreeFileSync. I've added these audio files based on these events. So just to have my FreeFileSync talk back to me and pronounce these audio notification as opposed to just a beep, which I find to be useful. Some people might find them annoying, but for me, I don't have to think. When my backup runs daily at around noon or midnight, it just runs and says it finished backing up. If you're interested in getting these files, I kind of produced them myself. I can share them with you. So I think that's about it, what I wanted to cover today relating to FreeFileSync. I hope that you have found this to be useful. And until another video, inshallah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.